EFL Cup's opening weekend continues from Sten, the capital, where West Ham begin live back in the championship against another side of the championship with a big following and a proud history as John Messina brings Portsmouth down an all-championship tie. One championship side's hopes of a good cup run in this competition will be ended before they even play a league game. It's West Ham and Portsmouth. It's live next here on Ultimate Sports Media. And hello again, everybody. I am Seth Eaves. Thank you so much for being with us. We even saved you the best seat in the house. Well, what a matchup we have in prospect today. West Ham and Portsmouth. West Ham, of course, relegated to the top flight last season. They're back at the second division now, and they have high hopes. Now, with this expanded playoff, there's a big expectation for them to go up back at the first time, at the first attempt. Meanwhile, for Portsmouth, it's all about survival. They had they just survived one season ago, and they're ready to go, and they're ready to make a run, maybe even get into mid-table, who knows. But today is all about the Cup, or the League Cup, as far as these two teams are concerned. So now it's my job now to give you the team news for these two teams. Let's start with West Ham. West Ham have made 3 new signings so far, but none of them feature in the starting 11 today. Here are the starters in numeric order. Number 1, Mats Hermansen. 2, Kyle Walker-Peters. 3, Max Kilman. 4, the Mexican international Edson Alvarez. 11, Tati Castellanos, the former MLS Cup winner. 15, Konstantinos Mavropanos. 17, Mamadou Kante. 19, Pablo. 20, Jared Bowen. Number 30 is Ollie Scarles, and 61, Lewis Orford for Nuno Espirito Santo's club. Well, Portsmouth have made 6 new signings. 2 of them feature in John Messina's starting 11. Number 19, Rocco Shine, an Estonian midfielder who cost the club £2.1 million from the Norwegian club Fredrikstad. And also the other new Pompey man that gets a call today is the New Zealand forward Luke Brooke-Smith, a £400,000 signing from the New Zealand club Wellington Phoenix. The most expensive signing of the summer can only make the bench. That's Serbian forward Marko Milanovic, a £3 million signing from Spanish club Almeria. The rest of the Pompey lineup looks like this. 1, Nicholas Schmid. 5, Regan Poole. 6, Connor Shaughnessy. 9, Colby Bishop. Adrian Segicic wears number 10. Number 16 is Luke LaRue. 22, Zach Swanson. 24, Terry Devlin. And 38, Abu Adams. The teams now get set to make their way on to the playing surface. West Ham have never won this competition. They've twice been to the final, 1966 and then again in 1981. The 2 times they reached a League Cup final. Well, Portsmouth also have never won this particular competition. The best Portsmouth have done in this competition, numerous runs in the quarterfinal. Most recent of those came back in 2010. Also reached the quarterfinals in 2005, 1994, 1986, and in the very first one, back in 1961. about ready to start this brand new season for both these teams. The second of our 3 EFL Cup ties on the channel this weekend. Hope you were with us yesterday as Wolves brushed aside Port Vale by a final of 3-0. Hope and glad to have you with us today. Glad to have you along today for the Hammers and Pompey. West Ham, of course, disappointing last season, but one of the big names they did keep, probably as important as any signing they make, is the retaining of number 20, the aforementioned number 20, Jared Bowen. His staying is going to be huge for the Hammers. Again, 18th in the Premier League. Last season, briefly got out of the bottom 3 for a few weeks late in the season, but losses in 3 of their last 4 games cost them a chance at safety. West Ham last year did enjoy a quarter-final run in the FA Cup, beating QPR, Burton, and Brentford before losing on penalties to Leeds. Adam Hersick's our referee. Wolves were one and done in this competition last year, a 3-2 loss to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Jared Bowen was the top goal scorer in all competitions for West Ham with 11. The man who was tied for second's gone, Crescencio Somerville. And we'll be back in just a moment. All right, apologize for the brief lapse there, but we are back. And the game is underway. Portsmouth going from right to left in their yellow shirt with the blue shorts. West Ham in their familiar claret and blue attire. We'll be attacking the opposite end. And it's Portsmouth with a corner. Somerville's gone. I was just finishing by saying that Crescencio Somerville now gone. He's playing now in Saudi Arabia. Portsmouth with a first corner, and the heads go up, and Hermanson had to kind of take a punch at that. Way it goes. Portsmouth ended up finishing rather safe in the championship. 55 points. That was good for 18th in the final table. 8 points above the drop zone. We're in the bottom 4 for a couple of times late in the season, but kind of got it together once the new year turned around, as Mavropanos has to deal with that. Portsmouth were one and done in both cup competitions last year. 4-1 losers to Arsenal in the FA Cup. And in this stage of the League Cup, they were beaten 2-1 in the first round by Reading last season. Top goal scorer last season was Adrian Segicic. He's back, the Australian, with 11 goals in all competitions last season. Here's another corner, and this one's going to be over everybody. Nuno Espirito Santo, who's kind of been guiding his way through the English game. 52-year-old born in the Portuguese Sao Tome and Principe. Has managed some a wide variety of clubs at this time. He's had the helm at Rio Ave, Valencia, Porto, Wolves, Tottenham, Al Ittihad, and Nottingham Forest prior to West Ham. Chip forward here. Alvarez playing it and getting it. Now they do the back. Now West Ham with a back pass. They play it back in their own half. And of course, Nuno knows about winning promotion from the Championship. He did it with Wolves some 9 seasons ago. That 2017-18 campaign. And he is tasked with doing the same with West Ham this go-around. Portsmouth looking for the long ball here, and not gonna be able to get this one. Plays. Nuno looks on. Portsmouth. A bit of an issue there, but it goes back to the goalkeeper, Schmied. John Massinho, 40-year-old from London, who, of course, spent nearly 2 decades playing in the and of course he played college football, college soccer in these United States. He played at Notre Dame, did John Massinho, a Fighting Irish graduate. Here's Swanson for Portsmouth, trying to play it back, and it goes back to Schmied. Massinho made nearly 500 appearances at club level across the Football League in his play career. Now trying his hand at management, and he's done a pretty good job. He has managed over 170 games in charge of Pompey since January of 2023. His biggest honor as a manager was winning promotion from League One to the Championship a few seasons ago. And now West Ham have made a big mistake. Portsmouth are in Bishop, but I think play has been stopped. And I think it's because there's an injured player there, and it is an injured player, injured Mavropanos. Adrian Herseg is now stopped play in his tracks. Foul on Portsmouth, and West Ham now string together some passes from the back. Here's Orford. Some of the quote-unquote bigger clubs in the first 3 rounds of the competition, the teams that enter, the bigger championship clubs that enter in this round, some of the Premier League clubs that enter in the next round and in the 3rd round, like to provide a good mixture in this competition. A good mixture of youth and experience as West Ham try to go forward again. Long ball played and knotted down potentially, but the flag was up beforehand, so no play there. And this has the feelings of a pretty good cup tie for August. Of course, with an August cup tie, you wonder what the incentive would be, but you want to win a football match, and you have West Ham, who's hopeful and playing at home, and Portsmouth. It doesn't matter where the game's at or what competition it is. The Pompey faithful are going to show up and be loud and supportive. Ball goes out of play. This is a Kyle Walker-Peters throw in for West Ham. He's still waiting, and now we have a bit of a coming together here between looks like that's Alvarez and Adams having a bit of a coming together, and the referee now has called both of them back over and says, knock it off. They still are not exactly in agreement. Probably cross those two off each other's Christmas card list. Mexican International and the Gambian International, for those of you wondering. Portsmouth now have the possession inside their own half. Again, they have 4 new players that are not in the starting lineup. West Ham with 3. That's all 3. It's all 3 of the... all 3 of the new they've made so far. But again, if you're a West Ham fan, I think you would value the retaining of Jared Bowen just as important as any signing you make. They are going to be everybody's pick to go up automatically, and probably go up as champions. Championship is quite the 46-round marathon mistress. Never assume anything. Shaughnessy with a back pass to Nicholas Schmid, the Austrian, getting the call in goal today for Portsmouth. Schmid now holding it. 29-year-old from Linz, Austria. With Portsmouth since 2024. 3 times the winner of the Austrian second division when playing at Blau-Weiß Linz. And Portsmouth give away cheaply. Bowen has it. And a bit too heavy of a drill by Bowen, but a bad pass gives it back to him. Now Bowen trying to work it in. And kicked out of play by Portsmouth. Last touched off the leg of LaRue. And it's a West Ham throw-in. Walker Peters now trying to dance. And he gets fouled by the new signing, Shine. And it's going to be a free kick for West Ham. Looks like Orford is going to be the man over it. This is Jared Bowen. Orford and Bowen both over it. Bowen might be used as a decoy for young Orford to provide. Nope, Orford's the dummy. Bowen whips it in. Not a very good one. Portsmouth headed away. West Ham, though, get possession back. Bowen trying to play it forward. Pass now back to the right side. Bowen trying to give chase, and it's a good bit of defending there by Zach Swanson. Lee was ended up being behind, so it's going to be a corner kick here for the Hammers. Jared Bowen will take it. Bowen, of course, wearing the captain's armband. His delivery, good header, but straight at Schmid. Alvarez got his head to it, I believe. It's hard to tell from our camera position in that massive humanity, but I believe it was Alvarez. 12th minute, West Ham 0, Portsmouth 0. EFL Cup first round action here on Ultimate Sports Media. Seth Eaves, glad to have you with us on this Saturday. A busy day in the League Cup. Of course, they actually started last week with 2 preliminary round matches to get into the first round. The first round began on Thursday and will continue until Monday. Of course, 3 matches this week. We had 1 match last night. We were with you for the Wolves-Portville game. We're with you tomorrow for Mansfield and Sheffield United. Walker Peters. Orford. Orford now to Alvarez. Pass now to Kilman. Now back it goes to Alvarez. Lifts one. Walker Peters. Flag is up. He was behind the defender and had a free round goal, but he looked to be offside, and indeed he was. Linesman very quick to point that out. Offside call to the 29-year-old fullback. The championship team of the season in 2023-24 with Southampton. Saints team that eventually won promotion via the playoffs. No word on if they needed spine techniques to pull that off. He's also a under-17 under-20 world champion with England back in 2017. For the Portsmouth fans that might be tuning in, appreciate the dig at Southampton. Heads are going up. Ball leaning in here, and Kilman almost falls to the ground, but West Ham are able to unable to get the proper tackle. Again, if you like what you see in here, leave a comment in the chat section. First of all, you can leave a comment in the chat section. We'd like to hear from you as long as you meet community guidelines. Right, wrong, and different. You can say I suck, and we would be grateful for you're there. Just don't be too derogatory towards other people. In all seriousness, if you'd like to, do like what you're listening, hit that like button and subscribe and hit that notification bell. Smash it. I take it's called for a foul here. Smash that notification bell and you'll be notified of our future events. First of 2 events today here on the channel. Later today we'll give you a big matchup. The top 2 teams in the WNBA. The Las Vegas Aces and the Minnesota Lynx. That's going to be a good one. I hope you'll be with us later today for that. Here's Shaughnessy. Now Schmid playing a dangerous sweeper keeper role. Now Kilman has it for West Ham. It goes back to Mavropanos. Mavropanos the pass. And it was cut off by Swanson, and it goes back to Schmid. Again, a plethora of League Cup games today, and we'll get you updated with those at halftime. The draw, I would imagine, would be made sometime Monday after the Monday game, which is Plymouth v. Exeter. Here is Shaughnessy. LaRue. Shaughnessy Collick for it. A good crowd on hand today at the London Stadium. Portsmouth now in the attacking half. Here's a ball for Brooks Smith. Brooks Smith, he's done well to get behind Walker Peters. Walker Peters had to slide to kick it out of play. It's going to be a Portsmouth corner. 400,000-pound man from New Zealand football. Showing you some pace there, Brooks Smith. So here is another one of the new Pompey players, Shine. He is going to take this corner kick. Here it comes. Not a very good corner kick, though. Away it goes. Now West Ham with a chance to maybe break. Oh, good defending, though, by Portsmouth. Now Bowen. Jared Bowen. Bowen trying to keep it in. Bowen. Could not keep it in. Maybe a throw in here for Portsmouth. Swanson is going to be the man who is over it. These two teams, of course, will meet each other twice in the league. First scheduled meeting will be the weekend of November the 24th. It's a midweek game, November 24th. That'll be at Fratton Park. And then they'll play each other on the final day. So how about that for some serendipity? These two teams will play are playing today in the first game of each team's official campaign. And then they're going to play each other in, well, at least the last scheduled game of the championship regular season in the same venue. West Ham unbeaten in preseason, 5 matches. They won 2 of them, beating Colchester and Stevenage while drawing against Southend, Rangers, and Magdeburg. Kilman got the goal. Now they hit Stevenage for 5 in that one. Portsmouth, meanwhile, 7 friendlies. This season, in the offseason, they played 7 games as Orford gets there to play. 1-2, drew 3, lost 2. Their wins came against, well, you talk about a wide variety of opponents. That's why this sport's so great. Because you can play a wide variety of teams and have a wide variety of wins. Portsmouth's 2 preseason wins came against Woking and Kuwait SC. And also the losses were to Aldershot and Wickham. They drew with Bristol Rovers, Farnborough, and the German club Darmstadt. Here's Mavropanos. Now it's Orford. Mavropanos. West Ham just quietly stringing a few passes together. But Portsmouth able to cover the space as well. Portsmouth with a free kick. Swans is going to play it in, and it's going to go over everybody. Is it going to stay in? Everybody in the penalty area does stay in, though. Here's a good cross. Good enough cross, maybe? No. Now, Jared Bowen. Shine now back to Swansea. Shine now gets it back over to LaRue. Bishop. Shine. Adams tried to get in behind Alvarez, cut off the pass. And now everybody fighting for it. A dangerous situation. Hermanson there. Oh, and Hermanson shoves Adams. Well, Adams is really making himself to be a real nuisance. Reports with respect. It's the second time today he's had words and aggressive dealings with a West Ham player. Oh, well, the first one was the one he was challenging, Alvarez. He kind of touches Hermanson, and the Big Dane took exception to it. 26-year-old from Odense in Denmark. Previously of Brøndby and Leicester City. I'm trying to play it long. Shaughnessy, back pass to Schmidt. That was a bit risky. Here is Alvarez. Alvarez to Bowen. Fight for that loose ball there, and we've got a foul and a free kick to Portsmouth. Now Hermanson, and now Hermanson away, and they have pulled play. Are we having a hydration break here? Gotta be honest with you, I did not realize that was mandated for the EFL Cup, but I guess it is. So a chance for both teams to get going, and a chance to tell you what's coming up on our family of networks. That's what we'll do during this hydration break. We're trying to get everything pulled up here so we can get it all ready for you. Okay, there we go. As mentioned, later today, 1 o'clock, WNBA action, Las Vegas and Minnesota. That should be an interesting one. Tomorrow, it is a soccer and racing kind of day. 11 a.m. Eastern, Mansfield, Sheffield United. That's the EFL Cup first round continuing. And then Sunday, and then tomorrow at 3:30, NASCAR Cup Series action from the Heartland, the Iowa Corn 350 from the Iowa Speedway as the Cup Series returns from its final off week of the season. Monday night, we got baseball at 7:45. The Philadelphia Phillies taking on the St. Louis Cardinals. Then Friday night, interleague action as the Boston Red Sox take on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Saturday, it's a day-night soccer NASCAR double bill. First at 10 a.m., action from the opening weekend of the championship as Middlesbrough faced newly promoted Lincoln City at the Riverside. And then at 7 o'clock prime time, the Cookout 400 at Richmond. And then Sunday, IndyCar at Toronto next Sunday, and then Cardinals Cubs at 3 p.m. So that's what's coming up this week. And there could be more added. Stay tuned. Play resumes here, and Walker Peters commits a foul on Adams. And Portsmouth are going to have a free kick opportunity right here. So Portsmouth now with the free kick. It's a good delivery from Sigicic. Ball still bouncing around. West Ham only get it half clear. Now it's a game of head tennis. Pablo couldn't get away with it, and then a wild shot of desperation from Swanson goes well wide of the mark. And West Ham survived that sequence. West Ham now back in possession. Another play resumed for a brief moment now. Another foul away from the ball. Poole from Portsmouth is having is a bit angry. I don't know if he's angry at the referee. Now he's having a discussion with a couple of the West Ham players over there. He'll play it back out to Schmidt, and play will indeed resume. A long ball over the top. Mavropanos. Now you've got Swanson to take this throw in for Portsmouth. Through. Now it's Shaughnessy for Portsmouth. Shaughnessy has cut out by Bowen. Be a throw in. We've played a half hour, still looking for our first goal. And I'll say the same thing that I said yesterday when broadcasting the game. That I'm going to mention this once here, and I will mention it one more time. Play has picked up again. One more time if the situation were to warrant it. Say the scores are level in the second half. If the scores are level after 90 minutes, this is the first round, all the way through to the quarterfinals of this competition. If the match is tied for 90 minutes, no extra time, straight to penalties. Gilman ready to take this throw in, but shoved aside. Conte heading it back. And another foul. Boy, this has turned into a rather physical affair. Of course, West Ham would be no stranger to a penalty shootout. They played in two of them in the FA Cup last season. They won one and lost the other. They beat Brentford on spot kicks, then lost to Leeds. Lofting it up. Bishop. Now Shine. Adams. Good job by Scarles. So here's Shine with the Portsmouth corner. It's a high corner. West Ham deal with it. Volley back in. Oh, it took a deflection and it went in. How about that? It is play up Pompey indeed. Segachich with a shot that took a big deflection past a helpless Mads Hermansen. And Portsmouth are 1-0 to the good. Who's that deflect off of? That's Kilman, I think, the poor soul who was in the way there. This is why I always say, if you follow me on social media, you'll say I'm always a big fan. Just put a boot in it. Just have a go. Kick it. Shoot it. Because you never know what'll happen. Now this ought to make the game interesting. Segacic. And Segacic. Who again was Portsmouth's leading goal scorer in all competitions last season. Avrapanis. Alvarez now to Mavropanis. Back over to Hermanson. That's not a misprint you see on your screen there. Portsmouth 1, West Ham 0. And Segacic's deflected shot finding a way in, and the visitors from the South Coast are 1 up. Now Portsmouth running through, trying to come through again. Kilman back there, clearing it away. Now we get a whistle and a stoppage. West Ham player is down. Who was it that took that tumble? It was Conte. Yep, slow to get up. Mamadou Conte, 20-year-old from Paris, made his West Ham debut last December in the Premier League match against Manchester United, a Paris FC youth product. And he's back up, and we can resume play. I was kicked out of play briefly. Portsmouth are actually going to have a throw in here. It's going to be Devlin to take it. Segacic back to Devlin, and out of play again. Brian Segacic, born in Australia, represented Australia at 3 youth levels, but now represents Croatia. He's of Croatian descent through his grandparents. He trained for multiple big name clubs in Europe. He had training sessions for the likes of Liverpool, Manchester City, Leeds, Chelsea, Wolves, Ajax, Dinamo Zagreb, and Rangers. He's played for Sydney FC, and he's also had a spell on loan for the Dutch club Dordrecht. Here come Portsmouth again. As I mentioned, the leading scorer on the Pompey team last season, 11 goals in all competitions. In fact, all of them were scored in the championship. And he was the player of the month for April 2026 of the championship. Long West Ham ball being played for Castellanos. And he was just a skosh offside. Again, our listeners that might be familiar with MLS will know that name, Tati Castellanos. He's from Argentina, but of course was an MLS Cup winner with New York City FC back in 2021. He scored the first goal of that final, the MLS Cup final, which NYCFC eventually won on penalties. He was also the MLS Golden Boot winner that year. After New York City, he had a loan spell at Girona. He spent the last few years at Lazio, and now at West Ham. Now back it goes. Portsmouth have it now. One more time with Swanson now trying to play it right side. Here is Segacic. Segacic to the cross. And tried to get to Bishop, and it goes out there. Bishop thought he was pulled down by Walker Peters, but no call was made. So here is the corner from Shine. Head away at the near post by a hammer. So now here is Mansfield with it. Mansfield, Portsmouth with Swanson. I'm thinking about tomorrow. Getting ahead of myself. Bishop trying to square it goalwards. Kilman, though, is in the way and clears it to safety. 40th minute here. Still a 1-0 lead for Portsmouth. Kilman, the unfortunate soul who had that shot deflected. That shot deflected off of. So now Portsmouth will throw in here. Got to play Swanson. Swanson throws it into Bishop. Now it goes back to Swanson. Swanson had 3 claret shirts around him. Alvarez, I think, got the final touch as it went out of play. Portsmouth corner coming up. So Swanson now to take the throw in. Shine. Very good there on the back pass. Bishop trying to fight for that again. It ends up going into the feet of Shine. Here's the new signing. Shine having a crack at goal, and Hermanson didn't catch it right. Spilled a little bit, but able to retrieve it. West Ham now back in their own half. Walker Peters now over to Pablo. Walker Peters. Oh, they got some space here, West Ham. And then you work it. Conte has made the run forward. Left-hand side. He's in the area. Here's Castellanos. It's 1-1. Great worked goal by West Ham. And Tati Castellanos has the first goal of the new Hammer campaign. It's a great move by West Ham, this. Scarles and then Conte making the run forward. And for a big center back, he showed some nifty work, squaring it in and on a plate for Castellanos. Just an absolutely wonderful. They had 9 goals last year in all competitions, 2 with Lazio 7 with West Ham, who he joined in January. His first goal was an extra time header to beat QPR in the FA Cup. And now in the EFL Cup, he has scored an equalizing goal late in the first half. Now, you talk the game really opening up. It most certainly has now. So 1-1 the score. Mavropanos. Now another tee up. This is Jared Bowen. Oh, brilliant goal. 2 in a flash for West Ham. And it's their talisman, Jared Bowen. The bubbles fly around the London Stadium. And that was a beautiful, well-taken goal by Jared Bowen. And in the blink of an eye, West Ham are 2-1 up. Pablo with the pass this time. Tee up Bowen. Oh, it takes a deflection. It takes a deflection, a big deflection off of Shaughnessy. Schmid tried, but was helpless. So, a decent attempt, but a generous deflection from Shaughnessy. West Ham won't care how it got in. They'll care that it went in. As you see now, 3 minutes of added time at the end of this first half. For the last 12 minutes, things have really opened up here. Pablo now trying to make a run for it. Sam wanting another. Portsmouth now back with it. Chip forward to the right-hand side. Goes all the way back out to Hermanson. Mavropanos. Now Jared Bowen. Bowen loses out. Here's Segachich now to Shine. Shine. Now back to Walker Peters. Now here's Pablo. Pablo right-hand side. Nice little 1-2 give. Brooks Smith was in the way. Pablo's big physical force, though, helps win it back. Here is Mavropanos. Now Kilman. Good pass. Really good movement here. Oh, this is big trouble. Here's Pablo at the near post, and Schmid makes the save. Portsmouth were really up against it there. Having to backpedal. Now West Ham with a corner. Bowen to take. He whips it in. Schmid punches. And it goes to Brooks Smith. He'll try to launch a Portsmouth counterattack. Not to be, though. Now here is Brooks Smith with it. Now a throw in from Swanson. Swanson. and he won't have time to take the throw in. The clock, the whistle blows for halftime, and well, what a first half it was. The last 12 minutes really opened up. Segachic's with a deflected shot that went in. That gave Portsmouth a 1-0 lead. But then West Ham hit back with 2 goals in a 2-minute span at the end of the first half. The first one came on a flowing move, which ended with Taddy Castellanos finishing. And then 2 minutes later, Jared Bowen got the goal, and West Ham are now in the lead. Halftime at the London Stadium, it's West Ham 2, Portsmouth 1. A lively first half in East London, and it's West Ham with a 2-1 lead over Portsmouth as we approach halftime, as we are at halftime, I should say, in the Carabao Cup first round. Welcome back, everybody. Seth Eaves, get you caught up on a busy day across the EFL Cup. Load of ties happening, and they're all at the half. Some are actually over. QPR and Millwall, that was one of the earlier kickoffs. They are now in penalties. It's 1-1 after 90, so they're going to penalties at Loftus Road. Other games at the half, Wimbledon 0, Newport 0. Wigan have a 1-0 lead against Barnsley. It's Bradford 1, Rochdale 0. Bristol Rovers 0, Peterborough 1. Bromley 1, Reading 1. Here's a surprise. Burnley 0, Notts County 1. Burton Albion surprising Blackburn 1-0 at the half. Cardiff back in the championship. They lead Swindon 2-1 at the break. Crewe 1-0 up against Accrington. It's Lincoln 2-1 over Derby. Fleetwood 1, Chesterfield 0. Knocky Wells has given Luton Town a 1-0 lead against Gillingham. It's Grimsby Town 0, Blackpool 1. Leicester have a 1-0 lead over Northampton. Norwich, very impressive first half. They're 3-0 up at the break on MK Dons. Goalless at the break between Leyton Orient and Oxford United. It's Preston 0, Huddersfield 1. Salford 0, Shrewsbury 0. Also goalless at the break between Sheffield Wednesday and Bolton. Stockport and Doncaster. And Stoke and Oldham. Those games are goalless. Birmingham leads Swansea 1-0. It's Watford 0, Crawley 0. Cheltenham against Charlton, Colchester, Southampton, and Rotherham, West Brom, the three late kickoffs. The early kickoff today, Cambridge secured a passage and punched their ticket to round 2 with a 2-1 win against Barnet. Later tonight, MLS, New England and Houston at 4:30. Leagues Cup tonight, Orlando City against Leon. Inter Miami against Monterrey. Guadalajara against FC Dallas. Real Salt Lake against Atlante. And in Toluca against LAFC. Again, that's Leagues Cup tonight. This is the League Cup in England. And again, a lot of international club friendlies today, as well as we get ever closer. In the Dutch Eredivisie, Telstar lead NEC 2-0. NEC fresh off of a Champions League qualifier in midweek. And they're trailing in that one. Later today, you've got go-ahead Eagles against Willem II on the opening weekend of the Eredivisie season. The champs, PSV, host Fortuna Sittard, and AZ against ADO Den Haag. In the Portuguese League, Maritimo and Casa Pia goalless. Vitória plays Arouca, and Sporting CP against Estrela. In Scotland, 2 Premiership matches today. Both are at the half. Dundee lead Aberdeen 1-0, and it's goalless between St Mirren and St Johnstone. So that's what's happening there. And of course, it's opening day for non-league football. Opening weekend of the National League season in England. Of course, non-league football, just such a great event. You know, everybody just loves, in England just loves, the non-league game, and there's this certain romance about the National League. And well, how about the National League scoreboard, shall we? We're trying to pull it up. There we go. Opening day of the National League season. Most games are either at half or early in the second half. It's Fylde 0, Wealdstone 0, Hornchurch 3, Kidderminster 0, Altrincham 1, Southend 1. It's also 1-1 between Boreham and Tamworth. Boston United 0, Aldershot Town 0, Carlisle United 1, Worthing 0. Eastleigh are in front of Gateshead 1-0. Halifax lead Forest Green 1-0. Harrogate 1-0 up on Solihull Moors. Hartlepool 1-0 up against Barrow. Goalless between Scunthorpe and Yeovil. And Sutton lead Woking by a goal to nil. Again, EFL Cup, 2 more ties tomorrow. Mansfield, Sheffield United. We'll have that one for you, as well as the Saturday game, or the Sunday. There's also a game Monday as Plymouth play against Exeter. Teams now coming onto the field, getting set to begin this second half. Sekicich's goal put Portsmouth one up, but then West Ham responded with 2 goals very quickly from Castellanos and Bowen. Of course, the National League South need an update on Salisbury against Hampton and Richmond, because that is that's an in-house, that's got USM in-house implications. That's 2 of our friends, our JBM buddies, JBM Derby, if you will, between Jack, who supports Hampton and Richmond, and JT, who goes to Salisbury games. So JT and Jack Owl having a nice rivalry today at the start of the National League South season. I will bet you a good sum of money in the next 6 minutes. I will open up a comment, and JT will be in the comments telling me what the score is. Just because that's who he is. He'll say, "I heard my name. Hello." 2-1 at the break. West Ham and Portsmouth. And the second half underway. West Ham will be going right to left in the claret. Portsmouth in the yellow shirts going from left to right in the second half. So West Ham playing from the back here is a touch for Kilman. Again with Bowen. Looted Bowen, and Portsmouth with the possession right back. Now goes back to Schmid, and Schmid a bit of a dance around with it. West Ham with the back pass goes back to Hermanson. You can't miss him in that fluorescent orange goalkeeper's kit that he's wearing. West Ham trying to, again, play from the back, but very good strategy at the present time. Alvarez, boy, they are really testing themselves. They're toying with Portsmouth. They got to be careful not to do too much of that. Pablo trying to go forward, and Pablo gets clipped and a foul. So West Ham now on the right-hand side. Now Kyle Walker-Peters has some room. Chips it towards Bowen. Pablo, back to Bowen. Castellanos, blocked. It was very good play from West Ham and did not get the end product they wanted. They've come back now at Orford. Now, good play here. They trying to cross. Schmidt got a hand to it. Orford causing trouble down that right-hand side. I'll tell you what, Pablo really getting in there, and he's having a good game. Castellanos also having a very good game. Here is a West Ham corner. Heads going up. Bowen. There, now it's Portsmouth away. Left-hand side. Portsmouth on the run. Takes it cross. Bishop couldn't get a good touch on it. Now it's West Ham trying to defend. Portsmouth have it again with Devlin. Devlin, long ball through the right-hand side. It's going to go all the way back out to Hermanson. Walker-Peters laying it off for Bowen. Pablo's in the center. There's Castellanos in the center. And Castellanos has a second. With his head. 3-1 West Ham. Well, that's why West Ham were so desperate to keep Jared Bowen. He does the work on that right-hand side. Walker-Peters actually does a really good job first of shrugging off a defender, gets a good ball for Bowen, and Bowen picks out a pinpoint pass, meets that of Castellanos. Schmid beaten, 3-1 Hammers. And Bowen now taking the applause. The credit is, you would imagine and suspect that he would. And meanwhile, Portsmouth have a sub getting ready to come on. So first roll the dice for the day we made by John Massinio's team. And it's going to be Thomas Waddingham. So the Australian will come on. And he replaces Brooks Smith. So Brooks Smith's debut will not even get an hour. Play now has resumed. Waddingham, 21-year-old, scored as a second-half substitute on his debut in a 5-1 defeat to West Brom. That was actually 2 years ago, I'm sorry. Last season, just 5 appearances and no goals. That goal against West Brom, the only goal he has ever scored for Portsmouth. Pompey, though, on the run. They don't want to give up. A shot from Segicic and right at Hermanson. Portsmouth didn't want this game to go away, but might be in danger of doing so. Bowen now to Walker-Peters. Walker-Peters. Layoff. Orford's cross. a wild challenge right there. Alvarez now having a bit of a discussion with the player. He's down here. And Alvarez, I think, just got a yellow card. So a yellow card for Edson Alvarez. So a yellow card for the Mexican international, Edson Alvarez, 28-year-old. Played youth product of both Pachuca and America. America is where he started. Then he went to Ajax and then West Ham. Of course, he spent now back at West Ham. Alvarez, after spending last season on loan at Fenerbahce, he won the Turkish Super Cup and made 18 appearances in competition for the Turkish club, who of course are one of the big clubs in that country. Now here is Segicic. Another deflected shot. It goes over the bar. It's going to be a corner for Portsmouth, though. So here is a Portsmouth corner. Headed away. Corner headed away. Now Conte, West Ham trying to break free on a counter and pass a little too long for Pablo. Now John Mousinho having some words for the fourth official over there on the sideline. Not sure what about. There's an injured Portsmouth player. That appears to be the situation here. So still we wait here for play to get back underway. Now Mousinho talking with one of the assistants here. Again, not really sure what's going on. Is there a substitution mishap? I'm going to pipe in for a second. The player was still injured. I got you. By the way, Salisbury lead 2-0 against Hampton Richmond, for those of you that might be interested in the... so it's JT who has the bragging rights over Jack at the present time. And That's Waddingham, who's just come on. Oh, man, that's difficult. So now they're going to have to do a sub for a sub, Portsmouth, because it really doesn't look as if Waddingham is going to be able to continue. Again, it's going to be just real shame. We'll see who they bring in. It looks as if it's going to be, I believe that's, I can't tell who that was there for a second. We'll wait to get confirmation. This is going to add some time to the end of the game, by the way. Now, Portsmouth training staff having a discussion with the officials. Now, looks as if double changes coming up here for Portsmouth. Owen Kenny is going to be one of them. And Owen Kenny, and that's going to be one of the new signings. And indeed, it's Waddingham off, and will come man from Northern Ireland, Owen Kenny. One of the new Portsmouth signings, a 34,000-pound man. And also Odin Bailey, another new acquisition, is also coming on for the team from the South Coast. And it looks as if Milanovic, who has Marazi on the back of his shirt. So Milovanovic is coming on. Of course, those are three of the new signings. Kenny, again, a 34,000-pound signing from Dundalk in the Northern Irish League. Dundalk in the Irish League. LaRue has made, LaRue was one of the players that made, who the other one who made weight was. Anyway, here's Devlin for Portsmouth. Hermanson with a punch. His play finally resumes. Conte going to get headed in. Of course, Owen Kenny's father, Stephen, is a 5-time winning manager in the League of Ireland Premier Division. So Kenny arriving at 34,000 pounds, again, is all it cost. Scored 7 goals for Dundalk in the 2026 League of Ireland Premier Division season. And then you have Odin Bailey. He arrived on a free transfer from Stockport County. Scored 6 goals for Stockport in all competitions a year ago. Did Bailey. And then Milovanovic, known as Marazi, the Serbian who, of course, arrived from Almeria in Spain. Here's Kenny on the ball for Portsmouth. Ball over the top, and West Ham have done a good job defensively. 62nd minute. Pablo pushed. foul. West Ham are going to win possession right back. Owen foul. Owen commits the foul. Now it's a free kick for Portsmouth. So here is a Pompey free kick. Here it comes. It's fizzed through. Goes out of play. 64th, about to be the 65th minute. So now here's Portsmouth with it again. It's a bad pass by West Ham. Now here's Devlin. Kenny. And Kenny's done well. Kenny, can he play it in? He did play it in, but it was deflected by a West Ham player. Now a chance to run again for the Hammers. Conte leading the break. He's done very well doing that today. The big man. Chip, can it stay in? Adams. Devlin. Kelly. Now it's again. Oh, that was a big whiff right there by Kenny. Foul against Portsmouth and West Ham will have a free kick. And now it's called Conte's down. So Conte's down, and that's a bit of a disappointment. He's played a pretty good game, I felt. So he's still being dealt with. Nuno looking on. His team's played very well today, it has to be said. Conte goes off. is being tended to on the touchline. West Ham might have to temporarily be with 10 men. West Ham now playing from the back one more time. Now West Ham with it again. This is Scales with it. Now it is Pablo. Pablo, and hit from behind. Foul, and oh my goodness, Adams pushed again. That's going to be a flashpoint, probably. Pablo goes down. Now I'll tell you, Adams has been in it all day long, hasn't he? Adams, born in Greenwich, England, and has played all of his club football in England, but again represents Gambia at the international level. Scored 2 goals in the league for Portsmouth. He's twice scored for Gambia. Both were in World Cup qualifiers for the 2026 World Cup. The first came in June 2024 in a 3-2 loss to Gabon. He scored the second goal in September of last year, a 2-0 win against Burundi. Derby County's Player of the Year a couple of seasons ago. Free kick, West Ham. Orford takes. It's dealt with for the moment now. It goes back to Scarf. West Ham and Portsmouth both getting ready, of course, for a new season. First 8 matches for each team. That's what we'll do here, the first 8 matches. Give you those first 8 matches. Portsmouth are a bit of a, hey there, boy, I'm going to get raked over the coals for that one. That's the first 2 months of the season. West Ham have probably the most mouth-watering game of the championship's opening weekend next Sunday. They go to Burnley. Two of the sides relegated for the Premier League last year as we hit the hydration break. Then it's a London derby against Charlton. And they travel to Watford. Then they're 5 games in September, hosting Wolves, home for Derby, away to Bolton, home to Wrexham, and then September 19th, the game everybody has been waiting to see. The return of that bitter clash between them and Millwall. It'll be at the Den. You want to go to that one, bring some shoulder pads would be what I would say. The return leg is going to be in late February between those two at the go to that one. As mentioned, these two play each other on the final day of the season. Portsmouth's opener. Next Saturday, they'll be at home against Queen's Park. They'll welcome Queen's Park Rangers to Fratton Park. Then it's away trips to Lincoln and Bristol City in the first 8 games of the season. Back home to play Derby and Cardiff. Then they're away to Wolves, away to Charlton, and they host Blackburn. And then I'll add Portsmouth's 9th after a couple weeks international break, October 11th. It's the Derby with Southampton from St. Mary's, October 11th. The return leg will be late February. It's a week after the West Ham Millwall game. Here is West Ham. We'll get you update on some other League Cup action here in a minute. Adams is there. Newport now lead Wimbledon 1-0. Wigan still up on Barnsley. Bradford 2 up on Rochdale. Ball here, and Hermanson's going to be able to carry it. Peterborough still lead. Bromley and Reading are still tied. Burnley, Notts County 1-1. Burton 1-0 up on Blackburn. Cardiff, Swindon 2-2. Crewe, Accrington 1-1. Lincoln lead against Derby. Norwich 4-1 up now on MK Dons. Sheffield Wednesday have broken the deadlock against Bolton. Likewise, Stoke against Oldham. And Millwall did advance on penalties, by the way, over QPR, just to clean up that note from halftime. So, Millwall through, and their most bitter of enemies. West Ham looking a good bet to go through. Portsmouth, though, want to get one more chance here. And make this interesting, but they missed that one big time. Mads Hermansson with the ball. So here's Alvarez coming on, or coming off, I should say. In the 75th minute, he'll come on. Conte's coming off as well, and Conte's played a good game today. But that injury knock, you figured it was probably the end of him. But he did play very well today. These are the first rolls of the dice for Nuno. Can't quite make out who's coming on. I believe I saw James Ward-Prowse, one of the players that came on. The other is El Haj Malik Diouf. It's 10 and running through again. Of course, you know about Ward-Prowse's great dead ball prowess. Of course, now playing his 4th year at West Ham. He was on loan at Burnley last season, where he made 14 appearances for the Clarets. He's actually from Portsmouth, 31 years of age. And the Senegalese defender El Haj Malik Diouf, formerly of Tromsø and Slavia Prague, scored a goal in an 8-0 win against Kenya in a friendly for Senegal in November of 2025. Made 34 appearances at all competitions for West Ham 1 season ago. So he comes in here in the 77th minute. 3-1 the lead. And it has truly been a great day to be a Hammer. Could it be even greater? Walker Peters to Pablo. Pablo to Bowen. Bowen tried to thread the pass through. Shine got in the way. Left-hand side, trying to play it in. Oh, that's a good clearance to safety by Mavropanos. Portsmouth now with Poole. Poole giving it back to Adams, now back in his own half. And again, Portsmouth, the expectation, the hope is maybe they can get to mid-table, be somewhere in that. I think they would take a, 11th to 16th type of finish, where you're never really in any relegation trouble. Probably not deep enough, even with the expanded playoff. And speaking of the expanded playoff, it's not just an American college football problem. More on that in just a brief moment. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this tomorrow too, but in case anyone wasn't with us yesterday, a couple of things I touched on at the end of that game, I'm going to touch on here. As this one's going to go for a Portsmouth corner. So the first thing I want to touch on, of course, the big story of the championship. You know I'm going to mention it next Saturday when we'll be with you from Teesside for Borough and Lincoln, is that the championship playoffs are expanding this year. Now, notice it's just the championship. Portsmouth lacrosse and Hermanson makes the save. Portsmouth is hell-bent on me not explaining this. That's how unpopular it is. But no, of course, you know the championship playoffs, second tier, the playoffs for normal years, third against sixth, and fourth against fifth. That's been how it's been for many a year now. Well, it's changing this year. The teams that finish 7th and 8th in the championship are also going to go to an expanded playoff. And Pablo, I think, was offside. He didn't even know the ball was coming to him. They're going to have the 5th place team will play the 8th place team, and 6th will play 7th in the single leg eliminator round. Kind of mirrors what the National League does for its playoff format. And the two winners will play, one winner will play 3rd place, one will play 4th place, and then those two winners will meet in the semifinals against the team, we'll play against 3rd and 4th, and then the one-legged final. 2 legs for that semifinal. So it's going to take some getting used to. And again, this is only in the championship. League 1 and League 2 are keeping their normal playoff format: 3 versus 6, 4 versus 5, and in League 1 and League 2, 4 versus 7 and 5 versus 6. So that remains the same, but the championship changing things. So we're in the 80th minute, about to be into the 81st. And of course, the other thing about this EFL, and I failed to mention this earlier about the EFL Cup, those of you probably are maybe new to the sport and you're probably wondering, I was reading off all these EFL games, these League Cup games, and you're probably, it's an English Cup competition, and I said, and you probably were wondering why I didn't utter the names like Manchester City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenham, Manchester United, Aston Villa. Simple. This is a competition reserved for the teams that play in the top 4 tiers of the English league system: Premier League, Championship, League 1, and League 2. The first round of the competition, which is what we're in here, is strictly for Championship, League 1, and League 2 teams. The winners in this round, the Premier League, in the second round, the Premier League teams that did not qualify for European competitions will enter. And then the clubs that did qualify for Europe, the really big ones, will join in the third round. Your Arsenals, your Cities, your Liverpools join in the third round. So, just to clear that up for anybody that might be new to this competition, that might have caught World Cup fever and wanted to follow along and wanted to know what the EFL Cup's all about, there you go. And you haven't missed much of anything on the pitch. We're in the 82nd minute, still 3-1 a lead for West Ham. Portsmouth have another sub set to come on. It's going to be John Swift, veteran midfielder. Here's a long ball being played. Now, long ball. Pablo, can he get on the end of it? That substitution has just been made. Swift out of play, and Swift out of play. Here's Kenny. The Portsmouth have time to maybe cause a little bit of a shock here. There'll probably be some good amount of stoppage time if they can get a goal. It may change things. Here's Sekic. Shot was blocked. Pablo trying to keep it, but losing out to Swift. Again, the man who has only just come on. 31-year-old from Portsmouth, England himself, John Swift. Been with Portsmouth since 2025. Here is Shine, now playing it back to Devlin. Pools cross. Adams. We now have it with Shine. Cool. Schmid with it. Cool. Devlin. Good long ball. Can he get there? He can, but the ball lands awkwardly and lands with Hermanson. About to be 84 minutes on the clock. 85th minute of play. 3-1 lead for West Ham. Here is Pablo. Ward Prowse. Now it's Jared Bowen. Bowen now giving it up. Here is Adams now back to Deef. Now Orford. Ward Prowse. Long ball over the top. It's headed away. Headed away again. Five minutes plus stoppage time to play. Portsmouth with a run. Sekicic in the area. Sekicic cross. Oh, wicked deflection to the head of Milovanovic. And Milovanovic's header is deflated wide for a corner. That would have been some way to mark your debut for your new club had you found the net there, but alas, he did not. Portsmouth do have a corner, though. Actually, no, it's not a corner. It's a goal kick. Okay. Here, 86th minute. Here, West Ham have it again. Now here's West Ham with Deef. Deef. Good ball. Here's Castellanos. Castellanos had it blocked by Shaughnessy. Put it away only as far back as Kilman, though. West Ham now have it in their own half. This is James Ward-Prowse. Back to Bowen. And West Ham now just will be patient to just keep possession of the ball here. You have a 2-goal lead with a few minutes to play. You don't want to do anything silly and let Portsmouth have a chance. That silly thing nearly did happen. West Ham back on it in a flash. Scarles. There, and it ends up ricocheting into Portsmouth into the attacking half for Portsmouth. Here is Sekicic to the left-hand side. Here is Sekicic. Swift. So now West Ham will make another change, and Castellanos, the man who has netted 2 of the West Ham goals today. His race is run, and on will come one of the newer hammers, one of the 3 new acquisitions, Joel Veltman, the Dutch defender who joins on a free transfer from Brighton and Hove Albion. Previously of Ajax and of Brighton. '28 appearances in all competitions, with 1 goal for Brighton. 3 times he was in the Eredivisie Team of the Year with Ajax. Also was a part of an Ajax squad that reached the Europa League final in 2017 before they lost to Manchester United. So he'll try to shore up the back line for West Ham this season and in this game. Here's Shine. Adams. Bailey. Bailey, let's fly! Wasn't too far away. Just to the wide of the goal. A bit wide to the right there. Not a bad hit, though, from Odin Bailey. Now West Ham, you're going to make another... well, they haven't actually made the change yet with Veltman. Okay, I see. I see what it is. Now Veltman can come on and come to the London Stadium in a competitive game wearing the West Ham claret and blue for the first time. A yellow card for Ibu Adams. Walker Peters. We'll switch up to Bowen right wing. Bowen now playing it in. Hillman. Pablo. Good save. Still there maybe. Portsmouth cleared away. Now we played the 90 minutes, and how much stoppage time will there be? You're about to get your answer. Ta-da! 8 minutes. Now this clock's going to stop at 91 minutes, but so I'll have to do radio mode here for the timing aspect of it. So still a chance for West Ham to maybe get something, for Portsmouth to at least get a goal quickly and perhaps make this a grandstand finish. Here's Kenny. Kenny now over to Shine. Shine now back to Poole. Now to Devlin. Here is Devlin. Now gives it to Kenny. Kenny cutting in left side. Kenny went for the curler, and it's going to be well wide of the mark. Well, it said it was going to stop at 91 minutes, but it didn't. And it keeps going. Maybe it was 92 minutes. I think it's when it was going to stop. Okay. It's good pace from Kenny. Just didn't have the finish. And, you know, Portsmouth have not played terribly today. I mean, a loss is a loss, and they have not played terribly today, but West Ham is showing their quality and why they're going to be, their depth and quality, a big reason why they're going to be a prime candidate to go up automatically. That being said, though, Portsmouth aren't finished yet here. Devlin will pass it to Swift. Swift trying to run through, and he had it picked up by Orford, and now West Ham trying to run with Bowen. Bowen. Now, play going to be held back for a moment there. And Adams commits a foul. Boy, he's had an eventful day, hasn't he, Ebo Adams? been involved in a lot of scuff, a lot of rows, if you will. Fourth minute, right hand side, good play. Oh, tried to pick out Bowen, but could not do it. Adams loses out. Bowen fouls. Commit the foul on him there. West Ham, big momentum for them ahead of what will be a tasty opening day encounter next Sunday against Burnley. Swift. Now Swift play it in, and now Kilman has it. Ward-Prowse weaving through. Ward-Prowse, good ball. Walker-Peters. Kyle Walker-Peters saved. Follow up by Bowen is blocked. Possession back with Portsmouth. They wanted another goal, West Ham, just to make 100% sure that they had the win clinched. Shine plays it in. Sigicic, who scored the first goal and stumbles, keeps his balance. Eluded everybody, and Hermanson is thankful to see that ball go wide and wayward. Get the ball in West Ham again. Will just take their sweet time with this one. Sixth minute. Here's Poole. Now back over to inside. Chance to run here, maybe. Here's a shot on goal from Portsmouth, and easy save in the end by Hermanson. West Ham are just about to the finish line of this one. A couple of minutes away from a 3-1 triumph in their first match of a new domestic season. Back with it here. Their fouls. Kilman went down, and West Ham this free kick, and now 1 minute to play. Okay, it stopped at 96. And one more sub for West Ham, and it's going to be a standing ovation for Jared Bowen. What a day he had. Scored one and produced another. And a late appearance for one of the youth reserves, Joshua Ajala. He's going to come on for West Ham. Final 10 seconds of this one. Portsmouth coming through in the penalty area. And has the referee call for pull for full time? He sure has. And it's victory in the first round of the EFL Cup for the Hammers. And Portsmouth, again, out in the first round of this competition. They had hope early. Adrian Segachich with a wonderful goal, albeit, well, a good hit, albeit a slightest of luck and deflection along the way. And that gave Portsmouth the lead. But it was all West Ham after that. They had a near immediate, they had a 2-minute stretch in which they took the lead. The first goal came from great play and finished off by Tati Castellanos. Then Jared Bowen with a shot that took a deflection, made it 2-1. And then Bowen turned provider for Castellanos on West Ham's third. A good start for Nuno and the Hammers. Full time at the London Stadium. It's finished West Ham 3, Portsmouth 1. For Matthew Owens, JT, for everyone at YouTube, I'm Seth Eaves. So long for now. We will see you next time. More Carabao Cup tomorrow with Mansfield and Sheffield United.